Welcome back to the cronecast at the rising moon. Hey guys, today I have a pick a card for you. Where are they now? A lost or a misconnection? Where are they now? We all sometimes wonder about people from the past, and we have piles 1 through 3. We're going to take a look at what's going on with someone who is no longer in your life. Where are they now? Take a moment, see which one really calls out to you. That is the message that you're most meant to receive. And just a note on this, this is something that you've otherwise resolved your emotions around. Like, this is not for a no contact reading. This is genuinely for the I let something go, but sometimes I wonder type of energy. So this is a where are they now reading. I'll see you at the time of your reading. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 1, then this is your reading. We're putting the number 1 over there so that people can easily fast forward to their reading, but there will be timestamps in the description box down below, as always. I'll go ahead and put the housekeeping at the top of this as I shuffle. Remember, if you want to book me for a private reading, at therisingmoon.com is the only way to do so. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you hit that post bell notification, you will know every time I post a video. And I have a podcast called Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica, that has tons of advice about healing and enhancing your psychic gifts, and I've had some magic practitioners on there as well. Let's get going for pile number 1. We are asking the question. This is a connection that you've released. It's just you don't anticipate contact going forward. It's just we all have people from the past that we wonder about. And so that's what this reading is about. Where are they now? We're doing an infinity spread on this. I have the Page of Swords in the upright. The reading will reveal the nature of the connection. It's likely, since it's a general reading, the details aren't likely to be super duper firm. So the Page of Swords in the upright is an interesting one because almost immediately that suggests like they still keep tabs on you. Like that is one of the cards for electronic connection. Like they're still aware of you as a person. Sometimes it's a card of watching socials and things like that. With the Tower in reverse, then comes the King of Wands in the upright, the Hierophant in reverse. I'll tell you what these cards mean soon. Death in reverse. I have the Queen of Cups in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse, 9 of Swords in reverse, and then we're taking our 2 clarifiers on my, as per usual, infinity spread. So this person appears to, I'm getting a male energy on it. So it is likely someone who identifies as a male from your past. They've had a lot of changes in their lives. They do still keep tabs on you, by the way, likely through some form of social media or a connection, like a mutual who knows you. Very male energy on this. The way this is, the Hierophant in reverse is a card of like thinking outside the box and non-traditionalism. Like they've changed a great deal in how they approach life and what they think of, and in how it's like they had to start all over again. Whoever this person is to you, know that at one point, like they lost almost everything in their life. Like the Tower in reverse is a ground zero type of energy, a starting over energy. It's a rock bottom energy. In the aftermath of that, it's like they're a little bit more responsible about their actions. I mean, they did learn something from the situation. Their thinking on the situation has changed a great deal with the Hierophant in reverse. They've had endings and new beginnings. They particularly think of you around their birthday and your birthday. The nature of this connection was close enough that like there was a lot of pain in the separation around it. We could be talking about a divorce or a breakup here, or simply the end of like a long-term friendship in which you were very, very close. They do actually wish you well, but they know that you're angry with them. With that Queen of Wands in reverse. And they do feel the loss of this connection. So if you ever wonder, am I on that person's mind? Do they think about me? They do. They do. They appear to have been the damaging party in this relationship. Even though maybe you both played a role at different times. Like there may have been mistakes made on both sides. They missed your friendship. They missed your friendship because they felt like you were a very good counterbalancing energy to them. And apparently you could be very, very kind to them. And that is something that they have felt the absence of more than anything. That sometimes the world has felt very cold to them. Let's check the clarifiers on this because, yeah, I have the Knight of Wands in reverse and I have the Sun in the upright. What I wanted to say is that my sense is that they're alone. Is that they've had a series of relationships, but that the things that drove a wedge between you two continue to do so for this person. Their inability to handle their own feelings, their frustration, is something that they've like really tried to do a lot of work on. I don't get the sense that they're doing well. I don't get the sense that they're doing well. Whoever you were in their life, you were enough of an emotionally supportive person to them that like here's what I've got. If this was a friendship or a relationship, you were the person who soothed that person's fears a great deal, whether or not they realized it at the time. They find it a lot more difficult to cope. They're trying to heal. This is an interesting one because we started this out saying like this is a resolved connection, meaning you've let it go. It's like they hope that with the passage of time that will change and that there will be some way to have, because this is a card of new beginnings and healings, there will be some way for like a new day to dawn on that particular relationship. But for right now, they have to live with the ways in which they were self-sabotaging. And there's nothing they can do about it. Will they ever thrive again? It looks like it will. Their personal relationships are always going to be a bit of a struggle for them. Because they may have something that is a permanent condition or a disorder when it comes to impatience and frustration, which is reflected all over the place. This had like a bit of this was not a gentle parting of the ways. This is not like somebody who like, hey, you knew him really well in high school and you just drifted apart. You went to different colleges or universities. And this is not that energy because there's kind of this like definitive ending around the initial connection. And they have tried in the aftermath to kind of like, boy, the way they viewed it at first and the way they viewed it now is just vastly different. They're always going to struggle. They're just somebody who's always going to struggle with their internal world. There is a possibility that they're sober with that Tower in reverse, by the way, because that is a rock bottom energy. This is somebody who is taking, if they are sober, they're doing it through a non-traditional manner, meaning like they're not hitting up NA or AA or whatever substance might have caused them to. I think something they reached for to soothe the feelings was actually making it much worse. And they know that. They know that. I think that there's just kind of an energy here where like you wonder what their regrets are. They have a lot of them. Is one of them in like not having you around? Yes, very much. It's interesting. It's interesting because it's as if you were the component, the cog in their machine that made their difficulties work. And they've had a lot of endings since they've known you. They've also had echoes. Like there's this weird echoing energy around if this was a breakup, and for some people it's going to be indicating a breakup. At first it's like they tried to dismiss absolutely everything and like make it your fault. But they've heard echoes over and over again in the relationships and in the encounters that they've had, in the aftermath, in the time in between. And this is a while. This is a while. And how long is a while? It's got to be a couple of years at least, maybe more for a lot of people. They have good days and bad days around. Here's an interesting thing. On the bad days, they spend a lot of time like kicking themselves. On the good days, it's weird, but it's almost like they miss you now. They miss you now. Meaning that like there are good days where they see things and you're the person that they wish they could talk to and they can't. I can't tell if this is somebody that you've got entirely blocked or like it's just that they don't even know how they would begin to try and talk to you again. But they do hope that there's something in the future. We have Owl. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. I kind of am going to describe that as being where they are. Their life has been in transition for long enough. And like I said, this is a male energy. I really can't tell if it's a very close friendship or if it was a romantic relationship. If it was a really close friendship, it really was kind of like the Bonnie and Clyde thing, only in the less negative thing. Like this was a bit of a like the ride or die energy. This was somebody who they felt like the opposite side to your coin, or at least that's how they thought it was. This looks like you were the person who ended things, by the way. Boy, at first I think they were... I almost want to say they had a trauma response. That's not to excuse anything. But they didn't handle things well and they know it. I've got Lion, harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. On this particular one, this is that energy of like, they pretty consistently wish you well. But they're also, it appears that since their fears are now all they really have sometimes, like I said, good days and bad days for this person, but that they're kind of, it's almost like they feel your energy protected them, and they really feel the absence of that. There's not a lot of stability in their lives any longer. Boy, if this is a pile of people who was like, oh, I was hoping healer, this person's doing well. This person's not doing so awesome. But the same token, it's not like a veil of tears, but like this is what's bothering me here. In terms of if you're wishing this person well, they have issues. They have issues with their emotional wellness. As I said, I think they've likely become sober in the aftermath of, and it wasn't because of what went on with the two of you. It wasn't. Something else happened. They had some kind of revelation, potentially a medical one, and they had to change. And I kind of get the feeling that it was only through that they began to examine their own role. This is a difficult energy because, like, the prognosis for this person is they're always going to struggle. They're just always going to struggle. It really might be their emotional makeup. This is hard. One of their soothing mechanisms is to remember things that you did together and conversations that you had. That's the only way they can sometimes like make themselves feel better. Well, protect what you love. That's another protective energy with leave your social circles behind. And I want one more on it. The Tree of Wishes is calling your name, which is the card of like fantasizing about something. This is wishes that they make. They really wish they could be part of your life. They really wish they could be part of their life. It's a little bit strange, but like there's no animosity towards you on this table. I think there was. Like my gut senses on this that like you would be expecting to hear like how much they effing hate you or how much they blame you, because I think that was like the last song they were singing the last time you met. They can see your point of view now. They can see your point of view now. So like, do they have hopes about a future where like maybe you're friends? They do. They don't think they're very like, it's not, they know it's probably a pipe dream. They know it's probably a pipe dream. 1, 2, and 3. I'm shuffling the Higher Love Oracle cards. I'm going to use some love cards to see what their relationships are going to be like going forward. Just because I think you've got an interest here. Like, well, if they learn something, then I can really, really let this go. Soulmate, yeah, they are free, yeah. Calm, cool, calm, and collected. Prepare for change. Solitude and meditation with new opportunities. And old friends, good memories. It's a possibility that this person does want to reach out and will at some point. I get the sense that it's not imminent. And I very much get the sense that you're not going to care. That whatever feelings you had, you've come to a really healed and resolved place. You've come to a really healed and resolved place. But they want an opportunity. They want an opportunity. Potentially, like here's what it is. Whoever this person is, and by the way, if this doesn't describe you, I don't think it can really be your pile, which maybe another pile is for you, or like not all general readings can have a message for everybody. But they have a lot of memories with you. Like this was a relationship of some duration. And I think that's where like their heads started to turn on things, by the way. We got multiple ones that just fell out and one leapt across the... All right, this is pretty funny. So I had things just, leaping across the actual room here. I was pulling from the archetype cards to see if I could get some more energy on this. So like they've got a lot of memories with you. And that's the part that is hardest. And that was the part that started to make them finally examine their actions in something. Was that like they don't have anybody to talk to about a significant period of their life that like shares anything in it. And it's made them feel like their life is an empty bucket. That everything that they tried to fill it with, like the bulk of it involved you somehow. So you were an important person to this person. And now, whenever they try and share something, it just doesn't, there's no, like, I take it you, like, for all that there were difficulties, like, you had a really similar sense of humor or something. Because there's nobody, the good things, they don't have anybody to share the good memories with any longer. So we have child orphan, which is independent based on learning to go it alone, conquering the fear of surviving. The child wounded in reverse was blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. But then they got the networker card, enhances unity through sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt. We've got the shadow aspect when it's in reverse, and these are the only oracle cards I read in the reverse because of this. The smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. We've got the shapeshifter, which is skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see potential in everything. Victim prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. And then pioneer, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. So this is a weird one because I don't think they treated you well. I just don't think they treated you well. And that was why you ended the friendship or the relationship. And in the aftermath, that kind of, the distance that made them look at themselves has not proven very comfortable for them. They have struggled tremendously with their relationships. And the thing is that they don't retain friends well. And that has been a kind of significant issue in this particular person's life. And they don't have anyone to reminisce with. Going forward, I kind of just like want to see what's going to happen for this person going forward, because where they are is like they would love an opportunity to talk to you again. They would love an opportunity to talk to you again. They're pretty aware that like there would have to be an incredibly significant reason for them to reach out to you. It's like they know that sorry's not even going to cut it. 1 and 2 and 3. I'm going to use the hidden truth on this one too. And why? I think there might have been substance abuse involved on this person's part, and it just turned them into their very worst version. And that they're a very difficult person overall, but there's a good side to them. You know, there's more than one side to people. Accountability, responsibility is a gift for love, for the love to yourself and others. Wow. And then we have inner integration. There is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. So life has kicked this person's butt. And they have had to hold themselves accountable. I really do think this person's gotten sober. That whoever this is what we're talking about is that they had issues with substance abuse, potentially addiction. Their relationships going forward just feel very, very empty. Like it's like it's like they think you were their soulmate. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't think you think they were your soulmate. Will you ever make things right? I feel so happy with you. I have trouble with intimacy. I can't reach out. I need security. I don't know why they can't reach out. I have a feeling this is like these cards are like, you can't read them quite like a sentence. It can be that like they know they can't reach out until they can make things right. They can't currently make things right. Their personal relationships going forward. Can you tell me about their personal relationships going forward? We'll use the romance angels on this one. It's an important question to you, I think. And it's not out of jealousy. Like, honest to God, if this is your pile, the level of like at peace you are with this it's really good. It's really good. Do they have the same level of peace? No, they don't. No, they don't. They've had to recognize what they've done. And I think sitting with themselves has been very difficult indeed. Playfulness to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Oh, one more on this. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. They have a person coming up. They have a person coming up. Their relationships don't last. That's what they keep finding out. Is that it's only during the initial fun, flirty stage that anything goes well. That when somebody gets close to them, that's that I have that trouble with intimacy card, things go awry. They don't anticipate a partner. They do see people, they do try and date, they just, they accept that they are potentially someone who's very difficult to fall in love with because of the way they handle their feelings. They are still working on themselves. Finances are apparently a difficult issue for them. They've had people in between, and some things that got said to them made them start to have to look at themselves. They want an opportunity to talk to you someday, but I don't actually have it on the table. I don't know if it will ever come. Because I think until they feel like they have the ability to make something right, they have learned to have enough respect for your feelings to understand that they can't disrupt your peace to try and make themselves feel better. That if they ever come towards you, it will be because they have the ability to make things right. But if it helps you to know, they wish that they had that ability. So where are they now? They're in a healthier place. It's not always comfortable. You're on their mind around any type of, like, holiday, birthday, any type of event. They worry a lot about the future. And they have as keeps coming out, they felt like they were really protected when you were around. And multiple things have taught them in the aftermath that that was the case. So this person lives a life in which they realize they burned a bridge that they really, really needed. And where they're going is a healthier place. They make a lot more effort. They have relationships now and then. But it really is like they accept that they have a personality trait that is very, very difficult. They may have a personality disorder. They have a personality trait that is very, very difficult, and they don't anticipate having another long-term partner. And I really get the sense that, like, even though it's like it was a partnership, a romantic partnership, but like it may have had the passion fade from it very early on, at least for you. Because it's like they know how thoroughly they shot themselves in their foot. But there's nothing they can do other than, like, they do hope that someday that they will have a legitimate reason to reach out to you. But they know that coming forward with an "I'm sorry" is not enough. So where are they now is they have regrets around the relationship for their own conduct. And I don't think you knew that part before this. So I hope that helps you, pile number one. If you want to book me for a private reading, there's a link to my website in the description box down below. It is attherisingmoon.com. Please don't forget to check out Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Take care. Be well. Welcome back. If you chose pile number two, this is your reading, and this is the tarot at the end of the rain. No, I beg your pardon. This is the Universal Celtic Tarot. We're going to be getting an infinity spread, as I almost always do. This is a "Where Are They Now" energy. This is not about a no contact type of situation. It's one where you really don't anticipate having contact with a person going forward, but we all wonder sometimes, so I thought I would do the reading on this thing. I was also really guided to do it that way. As we get going here, please don't forget to subscribe. It helps my channel. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you like the reading. And if you want to book me for a private reading, the only way to do that is through attherisingmoon.com. I'll never approach you in comment sections. We have all kinds of problems with the scam artists in the tarot world trying to impersonate the readers. And I don't know if I already said this, Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica is my podcast. Let's get going on this. The nature of the relationship will reveal itself. I don't know if it's all going to be about ex-romantic partners or not. The first one was weird because it was both a romantic connection and a not romantic connection. So I don't know what happened there. This comes out with the Two of Swords in reverse, which is like clarity on something. It's also being careful with choices. I have the Chariot in reverse. Whoa. That's interesting. That's like something coming to an end. With the Eight of Wands in the upright, which is moving forward in communication, sometimes it's falling in love. The Star card in the upright, which is like a psychic connection. It's like a dream coming true type of energy. It's a hope card. It is like one of the most positive cards in the deck. It can be the card for Aquariuses as well. It's coming out with the Empress in reverse. I've got the Eight of Swords in reverse, which is freedom. Three of Cups in reverse. Five of Wands in reverse. And then we have the two clarifying cards. This one's interesting. This one I get the sense it's a friendship. And a friendship in which, you know, you parted ways or like cut off contact. It really may have been simply growing in two different directions. There's not a ton of animosity around this one. It's almost like a closeness that was more in being like-minded, in like really being able to communicate very freely. Here's good news. Boy, do they hope things turn out really well for you. They're not coming back into your life at any particular point. This person really has like a very like feminine vibe around them. It literally could be a mom. Because some people have to cut off contact with their mothers as well, because in general readings, we're gonna have multiple scenarios at play. They're at a really, they're doing pretty well overall. They're doing pretty well overall. They're making progress on the way that they think about life. They've had a bit of a healing journey. They had to bring some things to an end in their own life. There was like a fairly definitive ending, potentially in the profession that they were working in. But they're doing okay. They're doing okay. They're very careful with their choices these days, particularly as it pertains to their life choices. Okay, well, we have the Knight of Cups and then we have the Tower, which I was not anticipating that even the tiniest little bit. Because, honest to goodness, the Knight of Cups is like an offer coming towards you, and the Tower is like divine intervention and a complete and sudden change. This is a really good energy, and they anticipate things going really well for you. It's weird because I can't really suss out what happened, like where the parting of the ways came. It really could be just as simple as I think they were like in their own feelings on something. And maybe one or the other of you had to back away from the relationship because something brought to an end, and like there's not a lot of animosity around it. This really could be somebody that you simply lost contact with because life kept pulling you in two different directions, which is one of the meanings of the Chariot. They still think of you, and like I said, there's a friendship vibe here that I really like. The thing is that like they expect really great things from you. At present, they don't want contact with you. And it's not like, I don't want to talk to that person. It's just that like they have to do their own work. They're trying to make progress on the ability to be essentially whole within, kind of with themselves. They're trying to make their own stuff happen. They found a lot of peace in their life. They anticipate like really amazing things happening for you. It is almost like they think you have some kind of star quality. I almost want to say their struggle with multiple things has, I want to say, like, if not come to an end, because that sounds like, did somebody die? No. Their struggle with many things is something they've released. They've released a struggle around something and have found like a path forward in their own life. It's that Eight of Swords energy in reverse. This is a nice one because like the level at which they think you're kind of cool and special, absolutely very high. But it's like they think maybe y'all don't belong in each other's lives. And not for a bad reason, for a being pulled in two different directions kind of reason. They are aware of you, but like they're not like, you know, they're not stalking your social media or something. But like they think of you too. They think of you too. And they really, there's this really cool energy here where they would 100% not be surprised to hear that you were the star of a new TV show or something. Like they really think there's something very, very special about you. We've got the Oracle, seek wisdom and guidance from others. The Knight, triumph over adversity. And then we've got the Hand of Fate as well. Honest to goodness, this is the Fate card. This is the Fate card as well. And there's this triumph over adversity energy. Listen, like there's a decent vibe around this person's happiness. Meaning like they're doing okay. They're doing okay. They spend, like, they're very comfortable in their own company. And they really, I honest to goodness, I don't want to say it's as simple as we don't share the same values on this one, but it might be. It might be. It might be somebody who's just like, I think you're pretty cool, but like we're not marching to the same band. And it's not in a bad way. It genuinely is just, it's in this kind of, they wish you so super well. And something happened in your life where like the triumph over adversity energy, they honest to goodness, they just think you're really somebody to be looked up to. They like that you weren't defined by a difficult set of circumstances and instead set about defining the set of circumstances on your own terms. They're not, I don't like, it's a weird one because I almost feel like they thought you were an exotic animal in their life, that they always, I think they feel like they're too traditional and too like mainstream and too conforming to really be a big part of your life. But they think you're super special. We have twin flame energy, which is interesting. Separation, generous offer, regrets, and then take control. This is an interesting one. So twin flames are people who are like us as much as anything, and then twin flame separation is, honest to goodness, that can be a twin flame and separation. This is not a romantic pile. This is a friendship pile. There's no energy of romance on this particular table. But they really think amazing things are going to happen for you. And this regrets and the take control energy, it really is like they feel like it's like they wish that you guys had more in common. It's like they wish that you guys had more in common. But they really, like I said, it's almost like they have a fascination. It's almost like they have a fascination with what'll happen in your life. Like they expect something big and bright. And like with the Hand of Fate and the, like I said, they wouldn't be surprised if they woke up and they saw like a People magazine article on you, which like that's dating me. But like they just really, really wouldn't. They think you're super duper special. But you're kind of wondering like what's going on with them. And they're in a pretty good place. They're being really careful with their choices. I don't have a blow-up energy around this. I just kind of don't. Like I said, it just feels like your paths diverged. And not in a bad way. Like there's no yucky conflict or anything. It's like just everybody involved had to take their life in a different direction. Here's what I've got. The very first time they ever saw you, they really were struck by the, like, that is somebody special. That is somebody special. And it's a feeling that has increased over time. But they're from a, like, I almost want to say a really different world. They went in a really different direction. Like, if you're working outside of a system, if you're the, like, you're the rebel, then this is the very traditional person, in a not creepy or, like, you know, reductive way. But, like, they work within systems and you build new ones is kind of what it looks like. Phoenix, be prepared to be renewed after a period. This is what they see you as. This is what they see you as, because, like, something really, like, it looks like, man, you got put through it. And the way you reacted in the aftermath, it just made them think of you as being even more special. Where are they? They're pretty much where you left them. They're really careful with their choices. They're a careful person. They're a careful person. And they just... I think you both admired each other. Like, you had admiration for the type of person that they are as well. But, like, it's not... You're living in two different worlds. You're living in two different worlds. Do they ever cross your path again? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't think so. I could be wrong on that because I have two different cards associated with communication. But they're where you left them, or where your paths diverged. This person is, like, building a really, like, they participate in things. You know what it is? It's like they're a joiner and you're the person who constructs new things. And they just see you as that person, like, not just like a cat with 9 lives, but like as this person who takes the ashes of destruction and builds a castle out of it. We've got key, new beginnings, directions, and adventures await for those ready to let go of the past. The next one was going to be mountain, and I'll go ahead and share it. Know that you're protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one because there's admiration here, but there's no affinity. Like, there's no, like, you don't operate on the same vibration. You're not tuned into the same frequency. And they know that that's, like, here's what I've kind of got on this one. This is somebody who you wonder why you weren't better friends. Like, it almost feels that way. Like, it's somebody that you had admiration for and they had admiration for you. And it's like they wonder why you weren't better friends. And it really is this very... They were a little intimidated by you, apparently. And I don't think you knew that part. I don't think you knew that part. Like, I think if anything, you thought they, like... There might have been a socioeconomic difference or something, because it almost feels like you really do come from, like, two different worlds. But they think you come from a really magical one. And I think that the reason that you're, like, drawn to this is that you wonder what your life would have been like if you'd made different choices. And this is the person who is inhabiting the template of the life that you thought maybe you wanted. Like, that you wanted a life you thought you did. It didn't, like, it turned out to not be right for you. When you had to pretend to be, in order to be accepted, to pretend to be essentially someone you're not, it just didn't work out for you. It wasn't meant to. But this person lives that life. Like, if you were to have drawn a picture at, like, 8 or 9 or 10 years old with all of these vivid details, this person has that life. And what they think about you is that nothing will ever, that you're like one of the most special people they ever crossed paths with. But that there is this lack of having a lot in common in a not bad way. So where are they? They're going to live out the rest of their life in this like fairly traditional thing. They make really careful choices around like their health choices is what it looks like. But they know that they walk a path where the roadmap was drawn for them, and they believe that you are the person who goes and draws the maps, and they're really interested in like this peripheral thing. Like they're aware of you. Like it's not like they follow you or something. It's very strange. It's like for some reason you are brought up to them sometimes, and they're always just, they wish they were more daring. They wish they were more daring sometimes. And it's like it's funny because you think their life might have been a really good one for you. You thought it might have been in a different stage of your life. And you're like a character in a book to them, in how, like you're the hero of a story. This is a really, really nice energy overall. I have intention. Lacking personal direction begets confusion, and life is a pawn to someone else's game of chess. Wow, like that's a really on point description for, they're not a pawn, but I said that they feel like they're following somebody else's map in everything that they do, and that you are a person who follows your own guiding star. They're very peaceful with like the outcome of your friendship, but you kind of wonder, it's like, did they just forget about me? And no, they didn't forget about you. There's something about you that might make you a little unforgettable to a lot of people. I don't know what it is, but like you make an impression. You made a really big impression on this person. This is not going to be one of the longer ones because there's not a lot here on, like, this person is living this very, like, settled. They make their own choices. They really have to focus on their health a little bit. They might be concerned about it. I don't personally think that there's a lot of likelihood of contact in the future, but, like, they have not let go of the connection at the same level that you might think they have. And I don't think it was ever the biggest connection either. Like it really was, I guess if you're watching this and you have wondered, is that did they think I was weird or something? No, they didn't think you were weird. They just felt dull sometimes in comparison to you, and not in an envious way. Like I said, you're like a character in a book to them. And where are they now is, like I said, it's like they just picked up their life for the last time you saw them, doing things in this very prescribed manner. Being careful with their choices, they always are. And this is like, it's a friendship, but it's weird because it's also got this misconnection type of energy. But I think the nice thing for you to realize is that they never thought you were weird. They thought you were amazing. And they know where you are now. Like, it's not like they, like I said, it's not like they're watching like a hawk or something. But like I keep saying, they would not be surprised to wake up one morning and find out that like something amazing has happened and that you're at the center of it. They wish you super well. They wish you super well. They do think of you. It's not super constant. It's not super constant, but they do think of you. So, hey, pile number 2, that was your reading. That was really nice. That was a really, really nice energy. And, like, I hope that the person that you're inquiring about, that it helps fulfill something. It's like they felt like they met a unicorn. That's, like, what it's like, is that they feel like they're part of a herd of horses and that you're a unicorn. Anyway, that was a fun one. If you want to book me for a private reading, at therisingmoon.com. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you would not mind. You're a figure that is admired by the person that you're asking about. Take care. Be well. Welcome back. If you chose pile number 3, then this is your reading. This is the Where Are They Now reading. Please be aware this is not a no contact reading. It really is about somebody who it's a drop connection, a misconnection, or somebody who's just simply from the past. And we're just asking where they are now, because we all think of people from the past sometimes. And sometimes like reaching out like isn't possible or isn't, star in the upright, isn't likely. Hey guys, before I get started, don't forget you can book me for a private reading at therisingmoon.com. The only way to book me. And then please don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. It's helpful. Let's get going on this one. The star in the upright is a psychic connection card. It can be a dreams coming true card. It's a faith and hope card. With the Six of Swords in reverse. Wow, interesting. The Three of Wands in reverse. Four of Cups in reverse. We're going to talk about what the cards mean when I get them down. This is a little bit of a curveball. Judgment in reverse, Eight of Swords in reverse. That's fascinating. Why it ended up in the exact same point in a different reading. With the Six of Wands in the upright, Ace of Wands in reverse. And we're going to flip these over to begin with the Page of Pentacles in reverse and then the Hierophant in reverse. There is a possibility on this one because the Page of Pentacles in reverse is the Daughter's card. The Page of Pentacles in the upright is one of the cards for sons. It's possible that this is dealing with a no contact situation with a parent. There is full closure on this. There is full closure on this one. How am I going to word this one? So the Six of Swords in the upright is a card that has to do with endings and definitive ones. It's a closure card. So we have full closure on that one. Before I even say this, because it's a little bit of a struggle to figure out how to say this, this person is in a later stage of life. Meaning, like, they can glimpse what might be an ending someday. And when they think of you, there is a concern for their karma. Now, I don't know if it's because of its illness or age or like whatever, but they're at a stage in life where they're like, they're a little bit worried about what comes after for them. But there's full closure on this. It's like they either aren't allowed to reach out or they simply, like, there's no way for them to. You might have them fully blocked. The hard one on this is that they have a bunch of problems. Like, they have some underlying issues, and they really... I get this weird feeling like this is not the most wholesome pile. Like, this person tried really hard to control you, and they were not able to. It's like you, rather than be controlled by them, like, you know, didn't just close the door behind you, you locked it, you padlocked it, and then you shoved the chair underneath the doorknob just to make absolutely certain sure that they weren't going to try and come back through it. There's a very definitive ending on this one. This person has underlying issues, and the reason I keep like hemming and hawing on that is that, like, I like to be able to tell, like, people in these situations, well, what do they think of you? Like, what are they thinking? Do they have regrets? Do they wish they'd done things differently? No. They for the most part, they worry about what's going to come next, but that's their idea of regret. They've got to worry about what happens to them after they depart this earth. Now, again, I have no ticking time bombs here or anything that is saying, and their health is failing. I don't have anything like that. It's just that there's this worry about karma. There's this worry about karma, and it does have to do with you. So you may have been, like, they tried to control you, and it's, you, like, really might have, like, moved away or something to get away from them. It's why I'm, like, kind of wondering, is this a parental unit? Because this person tried to have, like, control over your hopes and dreams energy. And man, they think you're too rebellious. They think you're too rebellious. Like they're not thinking that you're like a nonconformist. They think you're a rebel. This is an interesting energy because this person, they have an underlying anger issue and they misuse their words when they're angry, and like they spend a lot of time, like I almost want to say contemplating all the ways in which it kind of seems like maybe they've been judged. Karma said payback is a bitch. Like, I really got that feeling. I really got that feeling on this one. Like, this person, it's weird because, like, they're not, I want to say that they don't know how to take accounting of themselves. They have an underlying issue. I don't know if it's a personality disorder. I don't know if it's some form of narcissism. I don't know what it is. But like they're concerned because they think they might be being judged because of some things that have happened. They believe in karma, apparently, but when they... This is what is coming through. This is not true about you, by the way, but like what they have a tendency to do when they think of you is they kind of think that you were being impossible. And you weren't. It's just like that's how they justify a definitive ending in the relationship. That like they put it on you, but like things that kind of go on in their lives make them wonder why their karma's so bad. And so they do worry. I don't see any likelihood of them coming back into your life. You will likely at some point again, I have no defined time period, it's like you'll get word when they move on. But that's all I've got. End of a harsh karmic cycle. I'm telling you, woo, lying their ass off, scam alert. Karmic shame. Holy crap. There are other cards in this, by the way. There are other cards in this. I'm using the Apparently So deck by Empress Lang. It is really one of the best decks. I really suggest buying it. It gives you very interesting... But they're so worried about their freaking karma. It's not that they think something bad is going to happen to you. But they really, they justify their stuff, basically, because I think they know they made all kinds of mistakes. But they try to put it on you. They try to put it on you. Like, if this person really believes in karma and the idea of, and they do, the idea of reincarnation, man, they better get comfortable with the idea of coming back, because they missed a big lesson. This is also a failure to learn a lesson card with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. They have not learned. They just have not learned a great deal. They've had all kinds of opportunities. But it's like they add up the circumstances of their lives. By the way, the circumstances of their lives are pretty meager right now. Kind of by choice. Kind of by choice. They don't seem to have a super healthy inner world. But it's like they really... They think you have a very difficult personality. And that you're really difficult to deal with. And other people don't suggest that, and it does make them confused. It's like other people speak pretty glowingly of you, or very approvingly of you, or they won't be on their side, which is, I kind of think, what it is. If you're the person who cut off contact with this person, it appears that you are. That whenever they try and tell their tale of woe to people, they don't get the feedback they're anticipating. They're not seen as the victim. If anything, they're kind of given to understand, well, doesn't that make a little bit of sense? It just sounds like you two just could not, you were oil and water. This one's an interesting one because, I have to admit, the personality on the other side of this is they're coming back. They're coming back. I don't know that you are, by the way, but they're coming back. They lack the ability to be self-reflective. And like, by the way, some people with narcissistic issues, even though I don't have a narcissism card down here, that it's very hard for them to look at themselves and be like, well, I did this and I did that and I made a mistake. And like, the only regret that they have is they're deeply embarrassed. Like, I don't know else how to put this, but they're deeply embarrassed, particularly about, like, they're very much fear the judgment of others as well. They're really somebody who's like, they were taught to really overly invest in the idea of what other people thought of them. And they really do, I don't know, they're a little bit superficial. I don't know who this person is, but they gave you such a rash in your life. And it's weird. Like, in each pile I've had an idea of like gender on this one, and I don't on this one. I really don't have an idea of gender. It's like this person is in a balanced energy between the masculine and the feminine, so I don't know what their gender identification would be. I really genuinely don't. Like, this one is like, wow, who could this be? Could it be a father? Could it be a mother? Could it be, yes. Could it be a mentor, a teacher? It's somebody who tried to shape you. And wow, did you ever resist? And like, in a very definitive way. In a way where it's like, I choose me, goodbye. Where are they? They have fears around the judgment of others. And again, very clearly, karma on and this is a karma card, karma on their mind a ton. Karma on their mind a ton. And like I said, it's like they think about their life ending. And it's not suicidal. They're not being suicidal. It's not that. It's just that they worry about what happens now. Because I think they've lost almost everybody. That things that they have had to question whether or not they are being punished. And it's really hard for them because, like, man, this person, like, they really want to blame you instead. Serpent, a slime cell, this is an attachment energy too. A slime cell approach is needed. The moon, you will be guided through darkness. It's an underlying issue. And then darkness looms on the horizon on this one. This is so weird. It's still another message about karma. The spirit, unseen forces watch over you. They genuinely... Okay, so this person is a traditional enough person that, like, they might have a fear about hell. And they're really concerned about what will happen to them in the afterlife. They have learned to be very fearful around that. This is a tough one. Like, again, this is obviously not somebody asking about their bestie. This is this honest to goodness that, like, they had a big blow up with and then didn't talk for 3 years or something. This is not that pile. This is the pile of you closed the door, locked the door, nailed the door shut, like potentially moved very far away and deny and like have blocked on every single platform contact with this person. They don't have a way of reaching out. And they have all this regret and they have all this shame. But the only reason I'm chuckling a little bit is like, what an impossible personality, and they think you're impossible. It's like they have a blind spot around the idea that maybe it was my fault. We have peace, travel, the healing light. Okay. Now that sounds very metaphorical for death here. What else do we have here? They spend an inordinate amount of time wondering about what's going to happen to them. Present power as well. I like the energy on this one for your sake. Because, like, this person really tried to put a yoke on you. In terms of, like, they wanted to have say in your decisions. They wanted to have say in the way you developed. And, like, I think that by the time you were, like, closing this door, taking your opportunity to get the heck out, so much water was underneath the bridge that you had no hesitation. You were like, enough is enough is enough, and I'm done. that this person pushed so far that it was just definitively over. And I don't know why this is the message that needs to come through to you, except that I think you need to know that part. That they have all these fears about what will happen when their life ends. Because like their karma, like they get it, they've studied it somehow. But they like make jokes about who they must have been in a different lifetime type of stuff. But there's this doubt within them that it's like, well, who have I been? Big happy changes in the near future. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nope. There's honest to goodness. It's like they don't have anything to say about this person because they're not. This person will not change, and so their outcomes will not change. That's why it's not that I have anything dire. I don't have any like sword of Damocles. I don't have any dread disease. I don't have any like it's not calamity. It is that in order for our outcomes to change, we have to fundamentally be willing to change and to heal. And when we heal in particular, our outcomes heal. Our outcomes, when we talk about how we manifest our reality, in so many ways we do because the way we view our lives, the energy that we live in, we walk in, we wake in, we work in, is determined by our internal world. And our internal world informs how we process the world around us, and it informs what comes towards us easily. We're in a very open and receptive energy when we're healed. This person has too many underlying issues, and either they never had the opportunity to go to therapy or to understand themselves, or they would have thought they were smarter than that person and so would not like. This is a slightly unpleasant energy on the personality, but they're really a really difficult person. And then we have meditation brings answers. This is really, really, really interesting. This situation will improve. I have a feeling these are cards all for you because I do not think you're going to ever talk to this person again. And it's by your powerful choice. It's by your powerful choice. But you're wondering like kind of what's up with them. They have this is an underlying issue card. This is a card about anger and frustration. And they really are, they're afraid of what's going to happen to them when they're freed from the mortal coil type of thing. And again, no reason to believe it's imminent, but they spent a lot of time thinking about it. And it's because they are very aware that things have not turned out well for them. And they're also very aware that you always find a way to land on your feet. And because they have this knowledge of karma, there is this niggling little fear in the back of their mind that makes them wonder, was I in the wrong? But they can't handle it. They can't handle it. And so then they just fall back on what a difficult personality you have. And it's weird because they will seek out. I feel for this person. It's just a little bit funny because they're like their own worst enemy. Because when that fear rises up, like they try to talk to other people about it, and they don't understand that they don't come off sympathetically in the story. Like if they tell people like a part where they're always very focused on self. I really can't tell if this person is a narcissist or not. They're always very focused on self, and so they miss the fact that other people aren't just focused on them. Like they might think, but what about that other person? And what about that other person? And so that happened and that happened. And like they can see your point of view and the point of view of the other people. Here's what it is. They seek out like solace and like, other people petting them on the head to tell them that you did the best you could and this other person really is impossible. And instead what they keep encountering is that it's very like weak sauce that they are offered in return, because they tell these details in the story that almost everybody else like clocks as being like, that was not an okay thing to do. Like, that's not right. That's not right. Wow. Like, other people peg them for being very, very centered on self. So where are they now? They're kind of the same person, but it's like it's going to be balm to your soul or something to understand that it is a form of denial they have embraced that doesn't hold up very well. It's like they have, if this person possessed the ability to be self-loving enough to admit their own faults, which is really where that lies, is that if you really love yourself, you can admit when you have just screwed the heck up. You're like, oh my gosh, that was not my best moment. But it does not impact the way you view yourself overall. This person does not have, they have to tell themselves they're always like the hero or the good person in order to maintain a feeling of even liking themselves. They can't admit their faults. With society, property, interesting. Twists and turns. I want one more on this. Romance, which is a love card, and then achievement. I only am a keyword reader on this. This is why I'm not holding up the, if you want to stop and try and read it, you're welcome to. But I don't really find these to have validity. Honest to goodness, the society, property, twists and turns, romance, and then achievement. It all very much looks like they have this pestering fear in their consciousness that you appear to get good outcomes, and that their world gets smaller and smaller and smaller. The thing that just came through is that old saying, you get the face you deserve. And that's another aspect for them. They appear to be very potentially vain, which a star is not always about vanity, but like it is in this particular instance. These are the underlying issues cards. And they very, very, this person appears to be older and they have lost their looks at a level that makes their walk through life much, much more difficult. And they are aware of that. You get the face you deserve. And they know that a lot of things have changed for them. I feel for this person on some levels. I really, really do. Because it's like the lesson's right there if they'll just reach for it. Like if they really could just be like, hey, how about loving yourself enough to admit, I really screwed that up. I did not do a good job there. I am the person at fault. If they could ever do that, then they'd avoid the outcome that apparently plagues them a little bit, that does have something to do with karma. And they have a fear of coming back. If it's not like going to hell, which was the thing that initially popped into my head, it's not. They're afraid that they're going to have to come back. That they're going to have to come back. And it's like they've examined their outcomes and then they're worried about what those outcomes indicate for that potential lifetime as well. There's a weary, fatigued energy on this person, but they're the one who's causing it because they won't learn their lesson. I don't know if it will help you to know that that this person genuinely, now that they're not actively trying to contain you or control you or belittle you into doing what they say, please understand that they live a life that is very, very sad on a lot of levels. And just try to have a little bit of, I guess, if you're asking because there's still something that you haven't let go despite having thoroughly closed that door, maybe let it go. Maybe let it go, because that person is still who they were, but that is an energy that it's almost impossible not to have some compassion for, because the person's really kind of scared. And apparently you are very likely to get some kind of word on their ultimate fate eventually. And please remember, I'm not a long haul reader, but like in terms of that, probably, that like you'll get word on some things that will make your life so much better. And every time one of those happens, it adds another straw to that camel's back, that denial camel. And that maybe there's still hope for that person. It doesn't look that way, but where are they now? Alone a lot. Okay. All right, so that was your message, pile number 3. And it was an interesting one. Take care, be well. Don't forget, if you want to book me for a private reading, that is at therisingmoon.com. Only way to book me. Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica is my podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, all that good stuff. Take care, be well.